Going to extend it a bit more so I can blend it better with the other color. Because overlapping really helps to blend. And for overlap, you need some space to be able to overlap. Going in here as well with a bit more shadow. Not too far. Upside down. Oh shit, found another cat hair. It's always a fun moment when you find those. But I'd rather find them now as when I'm done and taking pictures and then only seeing them because you can zoom in too far with your camera. But I have to be honest, I have used Photoshop to get rid of some cat hairs before. Coming in this way, coming in that way. Trying to visualize what I'm going to do. That will be blue. This will be orange. Orange coming in from here. Blue will be there. Be a bit more. I was wondering what that emoji was. From here it looks like a clown. Might have something in my eye. Okay, so visualizing again. Blue coming in from this way. That's gonna be blue. Probably here. Calf muscles go like that. And I see I'm hiding just behind her sleeve. Sorry about that. Bit more. Okay, so looking from right up here, you can see the colors I've mapped out for the lighting. So this part will be blue highlights from this lightning here, and the upper side of her lower leg as well. And then with the orange light coming in from here, you have her lower leg, shadow coming in because of the light here. I think this should work. I'm pleased with this. So let me see. There will be a strong shadow coming in here, just underneath her armor. Light coming in from here. So some shadows underneath her chin and the part that's blocked by her hair as well. Okay. And of course, the underside of her hands, because the light will be coming from the opposite side. So this probably will become a bit darker later on when I add some black to it. That works already. This part will be lighting up completely. Maybe this side of a finger. Trying to keep in mind where that light is coming from which direction. That should be, oh, this pinky here. Don't forget the pinky. Feeling like Bob Ross now. That's weird. Right. Legs are done. Face is done for now. This hand, what am I going to do with that hand? I think she's going to need shadows from above, as there is light coming from below. Such a shame I broke off 2 of her fingers. Let's not talk about it. Okay. What to do with her back? I need thrown. Okay, so flames coming in from up and sides. Blue isn't going to reach that. So I just need the parts that are darker already. Behind her shoulder as well, as it's blocking the lights. Lights coming from up and sides. So just this edge here being blocked by her dress. And maybe a bit underneath her arm as well. What is it this time? Twitch, you are being mean. Give me back my camera. Oh, whoops. Okay, reconnecting it quickly. Yes? You can do it. There's always something. Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. Now please behave so I can paint. Okay, I'm going to add the highlights for the orange parts. So it's just the skin tone with a bit of white and a bit of orange. Let me see, so this side was... Damn, that's light. Darn it, I'm making a mistake. This side was a blue. Well, I'm just going to paint it now and adjust it later. I rarely work with this amount of light reflections, so I have to keep in mind what I'm doing. Okay, so that will be blue, but I'm afraid that if I don't use the same base as I did with the other leg, it won't look the same. So I'm going to continue with my mistake here and cover it up later. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so this side is blue. Don't forget, it's blue. So this side here would be orange. Up till here. And this side as well. That's blue and orange. Okay. Yeah, the happy accidents, I really like that one. Okay, think. Blue is that side. This is the orange. And this side is just orange as well. Oh shit, I touched her. No! Try not to do that. Touching wet paints. Let's see. Oh, come on. I think this should work. Maybe go a bit further into the shadows. Yeah, that's better. And then this happy little accident, which should be blue. Coming in from this side. It's the orange. I see that needs a second coat, so I will do that. And then the rest will be blue. Well, bluish. Okay. And before I'm going to mix the colors for the blue, I want to have some drink. It's a 0.0. Don't worry, I will be painting a mini. Okay, for the blue, I will pick that same skin color. And a bit of black. And a bit of orange this time for the shadow. And for the highlights, that skin color, a tiny bit of that very strong pigmented blue, and some whites. So it has the same base as this, just with blue in the highlights. And orange in the shadow. And I think I need a bit more black in that shadow. So redoing the shadows for the blue. And let's see how weird it looks to add the highlights color. Probably very weird. Definitely very weird. But when this color is dried, I will go in with some of that skin tone. And I'm sure it will look a bit less weird. Okay, just this part here. And this is a highlight from the orange. We'll need a second coat, so I'm going to wait until it's dry. And I'm going back and forth with my brush so I don't have a harsh ending. And I can control where I want that excessive amount. And to the hands as well. And don't forget to redo the legs, as it should have been blue. I need to pull her shadow a bit more, because when I'm looking at the highlights from this side, there's a bit too much skin tone visible. I think it should be more shadow color. Luckily, it's easier to add more shadow than it is to add a light color. So shadow color for blue it was. Trying to smoothen out the transitions a bit. Hi there, welcome to the chat. Still painting Azula. I'm currently working on the light coming in from two different colors. From the blue of her lightning and orange from the flames. So she's looking a bit weird at the moment, but hopefully in the end it all will make sense. blending in its shadow a bit more. And I'm just going back and forth with the shadow and highlight color until I'm satisfied with the transitions. And also the coverage, of course. And because the skin is very reflective, I'm going to add a tiny bit of blue on that hand. She really looks weird. Maybe the tiniest amount of blue here as well. I do think she needs a bit more orange into that orange part of the highlights. So I'm adding a bit more to the mix. Still looking weird. What should I do? I mean, maybe in the end she will look absolutely weird as fuck, but it's a good way to try new things. Oops. I think I'm going to work on her face a bit more. So I was thinking just to use the skin color. And the highlights are blue, so I'm going to paint her shadows a bit with that pink. And in the shadowy part, I'm going to use it as the highlight color. Without pooling would be nice. I mean, that looks a bit less weird. That's a good start. Try not to repaint her top. Now that looks a bit more human. Just a bit. But I do want to keep that blue light very strong, as it's lightning and it's the strongest power to have in the Fire Nation, so it has to be strong. Now for the rest. Wait, that needs just a bit less. Yeah, that's better. Tiniest highlights on the hands. to bring a bit more life into them. And maybe this is easier to work on, as I'm not completely sure about her legs. But it's a very normal thing when I'm somewhere halfway into my transitions that it just looks terrible. That's why it's nice to just keep a plan and stick to it, because I know in my head that it will work. I just have to figure out how. I mean, that's all. Totally not an issue. Caps lock is normal for him. That's how he communicates. Oh, for the legs, what should I do? Maybe add a bit more pink. Can you notice I've lost my way just a bit? There's a dragon on her leg here, and it makes it quite hard to drag my brush over it. I like the transition a bit better now, but I still think there needs to be more orange for the flamey parts. Just had the idea to mix a bit of that skin tone in between the two highlights, and it seems to work. So you're going to paint a mini for tomorrow. What is the occasion? As it sounds like there is one. So the idea was to have strong shadows, but it doesn't work as I had in mind. So I'm just going to focus on transitions now and maybe add more shadows later. Because if it doesn't make sense in my head, I should just stop, because then it will be a shit show. Going to have miniature Mondays and the Space Marine is done, so I realize I need something new. Ah. Well, maybe you shouldn't have finished your Space Marine. Then you would have had something for tomorrow. That's a joke, you know, right? Finishing something always gives such satisfaction. I mean, that blue light works. Would have been the smart play, huh? Well, what's fun about being smart? Bit more dark skin tone for her face. Just added a tiny amount of black to the skin tone. Man, it's going to be hard to paint that eye behind the hair. Never tried to be smart. Well, see, that's smart. So then you've tried it. I'm working in some of that darker skin tone now. And hopefully the transitions will be a bit better. Now I'm taking smaller steps. At least I hope so. And like I said before, it's just nice to work on this slowly and figure out what works and what doesn't. And I mean, I'm in no rush, I don't have a deadline, it's just having fun. Let's bring some shadows back. Just a bit more black. Should do the trick. Yeah, blocking in always has a very harsh look to it. And then you start blending and it will start to look kinda human. I mean, I still have a lot to do as I'm fighting the colors on her legs. Let's see. So this part will be blue from this lightning part here. It has a bit of flames as well, but I'm not going to paint orange flames and blue lightning in the same spot because I have no idea how the lighting would be coming from that. So I'm just going for blue flames with lightning on this side. I mean, I'm trying to keep some sanity, just a bit. So that's the blue coming in from here. And then from this side, from below, we have these orange flames. Probably need a bit more orange still. And then coming in from here is her lightning, which is completely blue. So that's why this part is really lighted up by that. And then from this side, there is orange again coming from the top and from the side. So yeah, it's quite something to think about, and something I'm bothered by at the moment is this transition to the blue. It needs a bit softer transitions. And that's not a problem at all. Just keep the paint thin and glaze towards the color you want to go to. So glazing with blue towards the blue and have that axis pulling into the already blue part. That's the dragon, so I don't have to worry about that. So this should be good. The shadow is a bit harsh as well. Well, OSL terrifies me as well. That's why I'm so nervous about messing this up. But like I said, these moments are good to practice it instead of trying these weird things for competitions. And to be honest, I've tried some first for competitions and they somehow worked out. But OSL, it's frightening. Yeah, it's the correct word. Let's see. Want a bit more pink on that leg because the light should be a bit less with further distance. Maybe a bit here as well. Yeah. And I've originally painted some blue here as well, but I don't think it should go that far. So I'm just covering it with some pink. And slow and steady I will get there. Still enjoying it, so that's good. What should I do? A bit more here. You know what's also frightening me? This small face. Faces are always scary. At least I think so. And then you have a very small face like this, and I would like to squish it all the way up to my head and paint it, but if I do that you won't see anything. So I might be painting her eyes off camera. I wouldn't be able to show you anyway. So maybe that's the smart thing. Using a bit of that pink to make the transitions to the shadows a bit less harsh. And glazing it a bit over the blue as I'm going up a bit too high probably. But that is the nice thing about glazing. It's very subtle, but it can make such a change. Now that looks more human, as it did before. This side is a bit rough. I mean, you won't see much of this side as it will be blocked by her throne. So I'm not going to pay a lot of attention to that. Oh, but this is going to work. At least how I'm envisioning it. Maybe I should paint her her lightning so you can see what I have in mind. Because her skin is going very well. I'm very pleased with that. Still debating a bit more orange, but that's an easy fix. What was I going to do? Oh right, I noticed just a spot here that annoys me. And I mean, I've said I'm not looking for perfection, but I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm stepping in halfway. Eyes are always the worst. Well, I kind of like painting eyes, but not on camera. I've only painted one pair of eyes correctly on camera, which was a samurai bust, but this was her size in comparison to Azula. So yeah, the eyes were quite a bit bigger. As for here, I think I'm going to be lucky if I can paint her eyes white with just the tiniest dot of pupil. As for the samurai bust that I painted, she had green eyes with the twinkling in her eyes, the little reflection dot, two even on each eye, and you could see the red just underneath. So it's just a bit different from this one. But that's why I like to paint such different minis. A bust is quite bigger as this, and you can you can learn so many things by trying different things. So commissions help as well, because with commissions I usually get minis I wouldn't paint for myself, but you learn stuff from doing that. And with every step of painting something you wouldn't do for yourself, you learn so much more than if you keep staying into your comfort zone. So maybe try that if you'd like. And I see in the chat, eyes are the best. Which reminds me of that mini you painted with the huge eye. the amount of reflections you painted in that mini, absolutely amazing. Frustrated because of another part. I shouldn't have said I wouldn't go for perfection. Just let it go. Yeah, I'm going to stop right there. No, you're not the worst at painting eyes. They are extremely difficult, but it's why I like them. Because if you manage to paint good eyes, you can be so proud of yourself. So if it doesn't work out, just keep on practicing. You will get there, as long as you keep practicing. Okay, so I'm going to paint her flame, lightning. Lightning is the same as flames, so the heatest part is at the base. Heatest? What the hell? Hottest. I heard it. Okay, so I'm going for that same blue with some whites. Going for a middle setting of blue so I can add shadows and highlights on this same color. And maybe it would have been better to first paint this white, but I only was thinking about doing that when I already had some blue on there. I mean, I'm just a hobby painter like you. I forget things and sometimes get realizations a bit too late. It's not that I can think of everything before I start, because the amount of mistakes I make, it's funny to see that eventually the end result will be okay, but getting there is quite the journey. But that's all okay, as long as you're having fun, because you will learn from the mistakes you make, and if you paint perfectly every single time, well, that's nice and everything, but I'd like to make some mistakes as well, because they make for the best lessons. That's a great tip indeed. Flipping the miniature upside down for painting eyes. Because if you can't get the angle right with your brush, then just flip the mini and you have a new angle to work with. I'm trying not to flip this mini too many times in front of the camera, because I don't want you all have it falling from your chair. But it can help for sure. Adding some blue to her hands. Let's see if that works. Can you envision it a bit better? I think I'm going to paint her shoulder armor blue as well. Because just as skin, metal will reflect very hard as well. I will add brighter highlights later on. And the edges of the armor will be gold. And since I'm going to work with true metallic metals, it will cover it up completely. And then I will add a bit more of that blue into glazes to get it back into the gold. But just for visual, I'm going to add it now as well. Because sometimes that helps tricking my own eyes into seeing what it's going to be. That's some more armor. Just a couple more cuts. True metallics, yeah. I'm not going to bother working with non-metallic metal in a project I'm just having fun with. Because non-metallic metal really gives me a headache. I can do it, but it involves such an amount of thinking and planning. I'm trying to have fun. Just sit down, Azula. So this will get blue as well. As for the edge highlight here, of course her hair as well. So from this side it works quite good. This will be blue as well, so why not do that? Well, I'm at it anyway. Take Azula away before I throw her onto the ground by accident. Which wouldn't be a first to do with minis. flames would be blue as well, as what I said. This is a part where the print failed. So instead of reprinting an entire new piece just because that one little section failed, I don't like doing that. Such a waste. So I decided to just extend the flames with some putty. And you probably wouldn't even have noticed if I didn't say it so. I need more paints. Blue and white. Because it's a very dark blue. While painting this part, I'm again thinking about it should have been better to go for a coat of white before going in with blue. Because the blue and the orange are each other's opposites, so they mix with each other. And if you mix opposites, you will get a brownish color. So if you ever are looking for a nice brown, something difficult, something different as the ones you have, mix in some colors that are each other's opposites. So a purple and a yellow, a red and a green, or in this case, orange and blue. And I'm trying to reach a difficult spot and I'm painting with one eye closed. Because of course that should work. Damn it. I can't reach it and I can't stand it. Come on, you need to be blue, not orange. There are a couple of printing nubs on this piece. So I'm trying to work with that. I'm glad they are on the underside of the print, so you don't see them that well. Because I always find it difficult to get the nubs off, because it's a print. The nubs are partially on the outside of the print and partially on the inside. So most of the times when I try to get them off, the inside part will come out as well and it will leave the print with a tiny hole. So I usually try to print them with the supports on the less visible side of the print. Would have been so much easier if it just would have used only blue flames. But of course I had to go for orange and blue flames because I like to torture myself. Extend that a bit more so I can blend it better later. That part will be golden anyway, so I'm not going to bother paint that. The floor I will. Let's see. Still looks a bit weird with the dark blue, but I will get there. Yay, torture. Yeah, you're one of those people as well, aren't you? Adding a bit more white. And before you know it, I'm painting non-metallic metals. Needs more whites. Brighter, brighter, brighter. I can hear the cat meowing in the background and my husband is meowing back. Trying to keep a straight face, but it was adorable. So with lightning and with fire, always have to keep in mind that usually you use a brighter highlight for the highlight, but with flames the hot part is on the inside, so the highlight is actually darker. I'm trying to do that. But while painting, I constantly want to do the opposite. So shadow lighter and the highlights darker. Starting to look like it. Thanks for joining in, and have a lovely evening. A bit lighter. And I'm probably going even brighter at the very core of the thing. Whoops. Almost there. At least with this color. Let's see. Without the throne should be better. Upside down. That's a better blend on her shoulder. Found a little academic bust. Oh, show me pictures. I mean, maybe not in chats, as I have no idea if that's even possible, but send it me on Instagram. So since I'm working on that blue at the moment, I'm going to add it to her clothes as well. Keep it nice and thin. Right, it's going here as well. It's a bit hard to reach. Tiniest amount here. And then, maybe that's better, on her sleeve as well. I like how warm her shoulders look in comparison to the face. Need to add a bit of shadow. I'm going in with a very dark brown, dark blue. Then it's to the point of a wash. Just redefining some of those shadows. Whoops. It's a bit better. At least now I can see what I'm working with Going for a very dark blue for this side. And here as well. They were red before, but things change. Going to look for those borders. Yeah. I think it looks good. Should I quickly start her hair? Yeah, I'm going to cover it with black. The black is thinned down by now, but I think this will help with painting the rest, because the orange hair is throwing me off. Try not to make any mistakes here, because going in with black on that face would be terrible. There's unfortunately a piece of support stuck in her hair, so I'm just going to ignore that, because if I'm going to break it off, I will probably break some of her hair as well. Ooh. I messed up a bit, but it was only the trim that's going to be gold anyway. Good evening, Pascal. Nice to see you here. I am almost at the end of my stream time, but until then, I hope you enjoy. Also try not to get any black on her shoulder. Yeah, I figured why not try? Because YouTube gave me a bit too much anxiety and stress because of all the video editing, and it really just wasn't my thing. But I wanted to have some way of showing how I paint. So the idea of Twitch was in my head for quite a while. And by now I figured just go for it. I mean, yes, it's a bit scary, but all new things are scary. So just try and see where it goes. And usually I don't stream with the wig on, but it's especially done for the Avatar series, and I really like Azula, so I figured why not combine, as I'm going to Comic-Con Holland next month, dust off the wig and everything. Ooh, scary, scary. My black has thinned quite a bit on the wet palette by now. But that's okay, it's just going to add more coats to it. Yeah, editing really is... it's something different. If you don't like it, it's absolutely terrible. So I was joking about finding someone who could edit for me, but I'm not that rich. There's this part of her hair on the backside of her hair in between the face and the hair. It's orange and I can't reach it without messing up the face, so I'm going to do my best and ignore that as best as I can. Well, at least she's starting to look like Azula now. Yay. So maybe just add some rough highlights to their hair, and then I'm going to call it a day. Black. Maybe here as well, just a bit. Will definitely need to go brighter. But it's a good start. I'm really enjoying this piece. "24-hour paint-a-thon." Yeah, I don't think you want to see me paint that amount of time because I will get cranky. Well, maybe for Azula that's fitting. Where's the fire? So much focus. Got a bit lost there. Nice to see you're still here. I think that's as best as I'm going to get it. Good luck looking for your miniature somewhere in the pile of, not the pile of shame, the tower of suggestions. Okay, that threw me off guard a bit. That works. So what do you think? Still need to add a bit more of that blue glow on this side of the fabrics. But besides that, yeah, definitely the chair will get highlights as well, but the fabric on the chair is mostly black and all the trimmings are gold. And since that gold will be true metallic metal, I will cover it with gold first and then glaze in some of that blue or orange from the different flames. And of course here will be more blue as well. But because it's difficult to keep everything in mind with every different direction of light, I figured why not paint it normally first and then add all the OSL later. Because with the legs I tried to keep in mind every bit of color, blue coming in from this and orange coming in from that, and I got a bit lost. So it was going back and forth a bit too much to my taste. But I think this is going very well. Yeah, I'm pleased. Little happy dance. Okay. I'm going to cover her with a bit of matte varnish because that really helps with selling the effect as it can't reflect the paint light. And then I'm going to take some pictures, post them on Instagram so you can watch them without me moving around. Maybe zoom in on some details. Don't do that too much. And then I will be back for another stream maybe Tuesday. I have to see how my schedule is going with the rest of the week. And if not Tuesday, I will be back on Friday. Same time, same location. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you all for being here. It was nice and cozy in the chat. A bit more talkative as usual. And hope to see you in the next stream. So have a good night, have a good rest of the day, and I will see you hopefully soon. Thank you very much.